What's up guys, Murdy's here, and today I wanted to share with you some thoughts on why I think ARPGs will and really are taking over World of Warcraft and other popular MMORPGs. Now before I start, I do want to get out of the way that this isn't a World of Warcraft is dying video. When I say World of Warcraft, I'm speaking about the general term of MMORPGs themselves, and whether anyone likes it or not, World of Warcraft is the forefront of that general term. So to get started, what do I mean about ARPGs? Well, what I'm referring to is of course action role-playing games. More specific than that, however, are the ARPGs currently coming out that incorporate the aspects of an MMO. Good examples of this are new MMO ARPG genre are games you'll hear me talk about, such as Lost Ark and Lineage Eternal. While these games are not reinventing the wheel by any means, and are currently not even out in most countries, there are clear distinctions on where the gaming industry is going or morphing into. I might have said these are games of a new type of genre, but what I really meant was a genre that is once again adapting to the industry. And really, if any kind of genre of gaming is used to adapting, it would be the ARPG. If we look at its history dating back to 1983, our first real, in quotations, action RPG was a turn-based strategy game with RPG mechanics called Dungeons of Dagarath. And it wasn't until a few years later that the Dragon Slayer series was created, which really introduced the action and action role-playing game. So this genre is definitely no stranger to adapting to a certain player base. But where am I going with this? I think to really have an understanding about how we know that the gaming industry is starting to shift is to look at how the MMORPG is shaping and the mark it left on the industry. Currently on the screen is a graph of interest from Google Trends starting from 2004. While this isn't hard evidence at all, it is evidence enough to see the total interest in MMORPGs has been declining, well, practically falling. Because of these recent trends, companies have also been slowing down production of MMORPGs, even to where, at this very moment, I can't really think of a AAA company making an MMORPG. But that's not to say the online multiplayer has fallen off. Because of MMORPGs and their long reign, gamers' overall interest in single-player games, while still relevant enough for companies to continue to produce them, are nowhere near the amount of interest that follows online games. The biggest games of this year, being made by the biggest AAA developers, are all about online play. It's because of MMORPGs that gamers just don't want to play alone anymore. But you may still think I'm crazy. I mean, we just went over a huge MOBA boom thanks to League of Legends and Dota 2. And even that didn't take over the MMORPG entirely. And you may be right about that. However, one reason I believe the MMORPG is dying and MMOARPGs will take its place is from a simple thing called time. It's the gamers before this generation, and even before them, that we have to thank for the MMORPG in general. But these generations have gotten older, and the amount of time they can put into games has dwindled. We have families, jobs, responsibilities that keep us from putting the time in it took to actually play EverQuest, World of Warcraft, etc. just 10 years ago. And one thing that's crucial to MMORPGs is that they take investment. If an MMORPG does not take time to get into, to level, and progress through, then it's simply casted out as a bad MMORPG in most cases. And that time restraint that I was talking about isn't just apparent in these older generations, but the newer ones as well. As the world becomes more and more advanced, we see that people want things quicker, and are not willing to spend hours upon hours to achieve something in a game. And I really think that's why we see a big decline in MMORPGs today. It's people just don't have the time to invest anymore. And 5 years ago, the gaming industry would have told you MOBAs were the solution to that time constraint. But as we found from that, MOBAs lacked in many areas to really catch the attention of an entire industry like MMORPGs did. And that's why I believe the perfect balance between time investment and rewards is important. Really, I feel like the problem with MOBAs is that they may be a little too quick. They fill a quick need and then the player goes to do something else. Because besides for getting a new rank or a new point, there's no real progression or reward found in playing a MOBA. Sure, that new rank or experience might get you a little high, but is it enough to keep you coming back? The ARPGs that are currently out, the biggest ones being Diablo and Path of Exile, both reward the casual and hardcore player with enjoyment and progression. While the casual can jot through the story and quickly gear their character while killing a bunch of enemies, the hardcore player can do speedruns, maximizing the efficiency of their characters, daring the hardest levels that the game has to offer. So because the game is quicker to pick up, but still offering a lot of progression, I feel like this genre is the next to have its big boom in population. And with big titles such as Lost Ark, Lineage Eternal, and possibly a Diablo 4, I think it might just be about time for that big boom to happen. But that's all I have for you today. Nothing crazy, just something I had on my mind that I thought I'd share with you guys. Because, I like talking to you. But I've been Meridius, and I'll see you next time.